The multicultural book that I chose is the book entitled Liang and the Magic Paintbrush by Demi. I chose this book because the text is charming retelling of an ancient Chinese folk tale about a poor boy who is given a special gift of magical power. The main character is Liang. He works hard and applies his ingenuity to use his gift wisely as he encounters with the forces of evil and greed that plot to take it away from him. This text provides an additional opportunity for second graders to experience a folktale from another culture and engage in reading and writing activities involving the lesson inherent in a folktale, as well as experiencing the wonder of a beautifully told story of magical transformation that brings joy and fortune to those who deserves it most. Young ELL students will readily identify and make personal connections with the main character who has the passion to paint and draw and who wants to help those in need. The text addresses one of the second grade essential questions: how can people make a difference in our world? The young boy shows through his actions that he possesses the character traits of generosity and compassion for the poor and sets a good example of how a person can make a difference in the world. Students from China will recognize many visual references in the illustration, like this one right here, and in the illustration to various aspects of Asian life, and make it as a personal and make personal connection, which will stimulate discussion, sharing, and ethnic pride. The cultural setting and action of the characters are clearly illustrated in soft watercolor painting, which aid in comprehension for early readers. The text is rich in vocabulary and provides many opportunities for word study and language practice. The author's narration of events in the past tense provides multiple models for the study of regular and irregular past tense forms and other language structures that will be needed to be practiced. The summary of the story includes this is the summary of the story. The main character of the story is Liang. He was so poor that he want to paint, but he doesn't have any money to buy a paintbrush. The setting is a long time ago in China, and there was one time when one night he slept and an old man appeared with a brush and gave it to him. The man said that the paintbrush was magical and he flew away. Liang thanked the old man, and after that, all the things that he painted became real. Upon learning that, he drew everything that his family and community needed. The greedy emperor noticed the magic paintbrush and wanted to take away from him. So he went to the greedy emperor and promised the emperor that he will draw everything that the emperor told him to draw. The emperor wished for him to draw a sea and let him draw a boat, and so he did. The emperor and his family rode on a boat. Liang didn't stop drawing water, so the emperor and his family drowned. From then on, no one knows where Liang went. Some say he continued to draw for the poor wherever he went. And for my before reading, the teacher presents the my I will present the book, the title, the author, and the illustrator. And I will ask students to study the picture on the cover and ask questions about the cover, like, what do you see in the picture? Where do you think the story took place? What do you think that the character who do you think the characters are? I will say that the story that we will be reading is a folk tale and it has happened a long time ago, and points out that there are verbs in the story which are in the past tense. During reading, I will present a story map organizer on a large chart reviewing the vocabulary, the title, the setting, the character, the problems, the events, the solution. I will explain the organizer that will be used. While students are listening to the story, I will be asking questions and students will fill out the graphic organizer. After reading, I will ask the students to find a picture they like in the book with a partner. They will create 2 to 3 set of question and answer in writing about the part of the story that the picture illustrates. Question and answer must be stated in the past tense, and a variety of question must be used depending on their proficiency level. Activities in the lesson include the discussion of key vocabulary and language structure and the building of prior knowledge in preparation for asking and answering questions orally and in writing to demonstrate comprehension and ability to create interrogative sentences. As the comprehension develop with the students while reading the book, the oral rehearsal will move toward the culminating task with activities using graphic organizers and other supports for writing. Editing for the targeted language conventions, which include the past tense of verbs, subject verb agreement, and punctuation, will follow the drafts. It will also has an interdisciplinary connection in social studies. Students will read and discuss the story set in a village in China with visual references that reflect the culture. Students will locate the region on a world map. Extensions will include internet research, and I will be using time for kids' websites on life in China. This lessons is a rigorous with its contents and expectation. English language learners are challenged to ask and answer that involve inferring as well as those that are factual. Discussion and writing requires the students to revisit the text to find evidence. Um, Through this lesson, they will expand their vocabulary and use specific language structures to express their thoughts orally and in writing. The student will also read aloud for general comprehension to answering literal and inferential questions about the main events of in the story, explaining their thinking, justifying their ideas, and using targeted language convention correctly. Vocabulary is illustrated, text is presented orally, and in print, graphic organizers are provided, and teacher modeling clarifies and meaning and expectation. I will make sure that using this book, I will use all four language skills, which is listening, speaking, reading, and writing, as they engage with text, and each skills reinforcing the others. Thank you.